Okay, so Barcelona, 2 days. Let's talk about it. I'll be honest with you, 2 days in Barcelona is not enough. It's barely a down payment, but it's what we had. And what we came back with was a head full of images, sore feet, and a feeling of, hey, we need to come back here real soon. So let's get into it. We rolled into Sant Station on a warm morning, and right away, Barcelona started doing its thing. The city is genuinely bilingual in all the popular areas. Signs, menus, and helpful strangers will greet you in both Spanish and Catalan. Don't worry too much about which is which. A smile and a gracias goes a long way. So does pointing at things on a menu. Now, one thing you'll notice fairly quickly, especially around the big tourist spots and the train station, is that not everyone you see is a tourist. They're people asking for change, sitting along walls with paper cups or cardboard signs. It's part of the real city, not the brochure version. Barcelona doesn't really hide that. You acknowledge it, you make your own call, and you keep going. Okay, first stop, and it's a big one, La Basílica de la Sagrada Família. You've seen photos, you think you know what to expect, you don't. Even people who have seen every picture, every documentary, every screensaver, they still stop walking when it comes into view. It's that kind of building. Antoni Gaudí started it in 1882, died before it was finished. Struck by a tram, which feels like a very unfair ending for someone who gave the world this. And construction is still going today. Over 140 years in, and they're still at it. At this point, it might just be a lifestyle choice. The crowds are real, by the way. This is not a hidden gem. Tour buses, school groups, couples with selfie sticks, everyone is here in every language at all hours. Get there early if you can, or just accept that you are now part of the crowd, which is also fine. But here's the thing about this building that photos don't quite capture. It looks completely different depending on which side you're standing on. Gaudí really got into it, a lot going on. Speaking of things with hidden layers, stick with us, because later in this video, we're going to show you something in the Born district that looks like a romantic painting from 20 feet away and reveals a completely different kind of magic when you get up close. Barcelona's Gothic Quarter, the Barri Gothic, is the old heart of the city, and it is a genuine maze. The streets are narrow, and we mean narrow, sometimes two people and a small dog narrow. The buildings lean toward each other overhead like they're sharing a secret. Sunlight sneaks in at angles. It's atmospheric as anything, and also a perfectly reasonable place to spend 45 minutes genuinely unsure of where you are. This is fine. This is the correct way to experience it. Wander long enough and you'll find the monastery, and when you do, look up at the exterior before you do anything else, because the gargoyles up there are something else entirely. These are not your tasteful, restrained church decorations. These are medieval stonemasons having the time of their lives. There's a creature that appears to be half man, half beast, grinning at you from several centuries away. There's a dragon that looks frankly delighted about something. There's one that we couldn't entirely identify, but that definitely appeared to be laughing. They were carved to ward off evil spirits, which raises the question of who exactly they were warding off, because they look like they are the evil spirits. You will find yourself grinning back at them. It's unavoidable. And then there's the bridge. Stretched above one of the narrow Gothic Quarter lanes is this ornate, lace-like stone bridge connecting two parts of the monastery complex. It just floats there. Tourists stop underneath it constantly to take photos. It's one of those details that makes you think the people who built this city were really just showing off. And honestly, fair enough. On our second morning, we went looking for a mural in the Born district on a tip from our tour guide, and there it was, a piece called El Petto, the kiss. From a distance, it looks like a colorful, romantic painting. Two figures leaning toward each other, the kind of image you'd put on a postcard. Sweet, maybe a little predictable. But then you get closer, and you realize the entire thing is made of photographs, hundreds of them. Tiny vacation photos contributed by real people, couples on beaches, families at birthdays, grandparents and grandchildren, friends on a night out, all of them pressed together like tiles to create the image you saw from across the street. What looked like a painting is actually a mosaic of strangers' most loved moments. It's one of those things that hits you differently than you expected. You stand in front of it a bit longer than you planned. And in a city with so much to see, that's really saying something. Hey, have you ever been to Barcelona? Type yes or no in the comments, or just give me a thumbs up. Thanks. Here's the part where I have to be honest about the gap between what we did and what exists. Barcelona has more to offer than what 2 days, or honestly what 2 weeks can cover. It really pays to secure a tour guide whenever you can for full appreciation of all you are going to see. We didn't make it to Park Güell, which is another Gaudí creation up on a hill with mosaic terraces and sweeping views of the city. We missed the Palau de la Música Catalana, a concert hall that apparently makes the Sagrada Família look understated, which is a sentence I didn't think I would ever say. We didn't get to the Picasso Museum, which sits right in the Gothic Quarter and holds one of the most important collections of his early work anywhere in the world, and we barely touched the beachfront. Barcelona has a proper Mediterranean coast, and we saw approximately none of it. La Rambla, the famous pedestrian boulevard, we walked briefly but didn't linger. It's worth a stroll, though it's very much a tourist experience at this point rather than a local one. There's also a whole food scene. Pinsos bars, vermouth culture, seafood straight off the boat that deserves its own video entirely, maybe its own series. The point is, Barcelona won't run out of things before you run out of time. Plan accordingly, and maybe book more than 2 days. 2 days in Barcelona gives you just enough to fall for the city and just enough to know exactly what you missed. Oh yeah, an interesting neo-Gothic building that we did get to see was the Four Cats Cafe, which opened on June 12, 1897 as a central hub for Barcelona's innovation movement. Why was this notable? It was a cafe that hosted regulars, artists like Antoni Gaudí and Pablo Picasso, who held his first solo exhibition there in 1899 at age 17. It now displays reproductions of works by Ramon Casas and Picasso. Unfortunately, we were there on a day it was closed, so we missed seeing the inside. The towers of the Sagrada Família against a blue sky, the gargoyles grinning down from ancient stone, a bridge floating over a medieval lane, a mural made of 1,000 strangers' happiest moments. It's a city that rewards curiosity, punishes overplanning, and somehow makes you feel like you've experienced both the ancient world and someone's wildly ambitious fever dream, sometimes in the same block. We'll be back, probably with more comfortable shoes. Till then, I hope you subscribe to catch my next video, which I think will be about our 2 days. Yes, only 2 days in. Madrid! Whew! Gotta get some rest. Bye!